What if every animal suddenly became 3 times bigger? Imagine you wake up tomorrow. Everything seems normal. Your house hasn't changed. Your car is the same. Your phone still fits in your pocket. But then, a pigeon lands outside your window, only it isn't pigeon-sized anymore. It's almost as tall as you. Your neighbour's Labrador is now the size of a horse. The squirrel in your backyard weighs over 100 pounds. And somewhere in the ocean, blue whales have become longer than 2 Boeing 747s placed nose to tail. Overnight, every single animal on Earth has become 3 times larger. Every mammal, every bird, every fish, every reptile, every insect. Humans are the only species that stayed the same. Would we survive, or would Earth instantly belong to the animals? Let's find out. The first hour. At first, most people probably wouldn't realize what's happening until they hear barking outside. That friendly German shepherd from next door? It's now almost 6 feet tall at the shoulder and weighs well over 1,000 pounds. It could accidentally knock over a car just by running into it. Cats suddenly become leopard-sized. Horses become larger than elephants. Even your pet rabbit is now big enough to chase you instead of the other way around. The panic begins almost immediately. Roads fill with abandoned cars. People stop leaving their homes. But that's only the beginning. Insects become nightmare fuel. Now imagine the bugs. A common housefly grows from about 1/4 inch to nearly 1 inch long. Cockroaches become the size of dinner plates. Dragonflies have wingspans wider than an eagle's. And spiders. Some tarantulas now stretch close to 2 feet across. Even though many spiders aren't aggressive toward humans, seeing one that size inside your bedroom is enough to make anyone move out. Mosquitoes become much larger too. Fortunately, they probably couldn't suck all your blood in one bite, but they would definitely become much harder to ignore. Bees and wasps become incredibly intimidating. A swarm flying overhead would sound like helicopters. Your pets are suddenly giants. Pet owners would have mixed feelings. Dogs are still loyal. Cats are still cats. But size changes everything. A golden retriever could accidentally crush furniture just by lying down. A St. Bernard could weigh several thousand pounds. Walking your dog? More like hoping your dog decides to walk with you. Even something playful like jumping onto the couch could destroy your entire living room. Farms would change overnight. Farm animals become massive. A dairy cow now weighs as much as several pickup trucks. Chickens become almost waist-high. Pigs rival rhinoceroses in size. This sounds amazing until you remember. Fences weren't built for animals this powerful. If cattle panic, they could smash through barriers that once easily contained them. Entire farms would struggle to keep animals under control. Food production would slow dramatically. Milk, eggs, and meat would become much more difficult and expensive to produce. The ocean gets scarier. The oceans would become almost unrecognizable. Great white sharks could approach 50 feet long. Giant squid become true sea monsters. Orcas grow to bus-sized proportions. Even dolphins become enormous. Most marine animals would still avoid humans. But fishing? That becomes incredibly dangerous. Commercial fishing boats suddenly face fish that are stronger than some ships were designed to handle. And blue whales, already the largest animals to ever exist, now become absolutely unimaginable. Could science even allow this? Here's where things get interesting. In reality, many animals couldn't simply become 3 times larger. There's a scientific principle called the square-cube law. When an animal triples in height or length, its weight increases about 27 times. But the strength of its bones and muscles doesn't increase nearly as quickly. That means many land animals would suddenly be carrying far more weight than their skeletons evolved to support. Some could suffer broken bones. Others might struggle to breathe or even stand. Large mammals like elephants, rhinos, and giraffes would face enormous challenges. Even giant insects have a problem. Most insects breathe through tiny openings in their bodies instead of lungs. That system works because insects are small. At 3 times the size, many insects simply wouldn't get enough oxygen to survive. So while giant bugs make great horror movies, Biology says many wouldn't last long. Predators become even more dangerous. The predators that do survive become far more intimidating. A lion is now roughly the size of an elephant. Tigers become monsters. Polar bears stand taller than many houses when they rear up. A wolf pack suddenly consists of animals weighing nearly half a ton each. Zoos become emergency zones overnight. Wildlife reserves are impossible to contain. Even national parks become off limits. One escaped predator could threaten entire communities. Birds rule the sky. Large birds become surprisingly dangerous. Eagles now have wingspans wider than many cars are long. Owls become silent flying giants. Even seagulls become bold enough to steal much more than your lunch. Air travel would become incredibly risky. Bird strikes already cause millions of dollars in aircraft damage every year. Now imagine hitting a bird 3 times larger. Many flights would likely be grounded until new safety systems were developed. Could humans stay on top? At first, probably not. There would be panic. Supply chains would collapse. Cities would struggle with escaped pets, livestock and wildlife. But humans have one advantage no animal can match: intelligence. We build stronger fences. We redesign vehicles. We create better tranquilizers. We invent new farming equipment. Within a few years, we'd adapt. It wouldn't be easy. But humans have survived ice ages, plagues, and countless natural disasters. We'd eventually learn how to live in a world filled with giant animals. It just wouldn't feel like the same planet anymore. A world where every animal suddenly became 3 times larger wouldn't simply be our world with bigger creatures. It would completely reshape ecosystems, agriculture, transportation, and daily life. Some species would become unstoppable. Others would disappear because physics simply wouldn't allow them to survive. But one thing is certain: the next time someone tells you to watch out for the goose, you'd probably listen. Because in this world, the goose is almost your height. And it's still just as angry. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe for more what-if scenarios that explore how one impossible change could completely transform life on Earth.